Dumelang ra amogela mo go Daily Thetha on SABC 1. Nna ka lebitso ke nna Nicolette wa ga Mashile ngwana wa kwa Bushbuck Krishma Pulaneng. But of course a ke sepele ke le one re na le Sesi Andiswa Kebesha, who is our sign language interpreter. Now nna ke godie ke tsiba gore go na le batho ba re ba dula le kokwane, go dula malome, go dula auntie, go dula sesi, go dula batlogolwane, right? And these are all people that are living under the same roof, and that is called intergenerational living. And that is what we're going to be talking about. And what type of effects does it have on a young person that's trying to start their own life and really just finding it difficult sometimes because you really don't know what is expected from you. Melody?
Well, of course, mina igama ke umbeleto kami uqonile sibewu kodwa ke uyazi ngibiza usheriff and indaba enje ebhlungu because abantu abaningi kule genge kule 70% ehlele ekhaya ekhokhela umkhulu ekhokhela umamncane nalomzukulu lo khona endlini igenge that is 37.1% unemployed, and on top of that kusho ukuthini ukuthi indleko ziyakhuphuka and ipressure ekhaya kuba nzima. Namhlanje sifuna ukwazi ukuthini kwena mlaleli ekhaya ukuthi when are you in that situation? Do you find yourself with those struggles? Or noma mhlambe umuntu omaziyo osebenza naye onalesikhalo lesi ukuthi yazi lento kanje iyangilimaza. So ukhumbula ukuthi ke wasebenzisa ke social media yethu with the hashtag Daily Thetha, and manje ukhulume nathi nje lokuphawula ulokuthi
as Melody has already said, but also ukana wa phone la ko 0113391315. But for now, let's welcome our studio audience. And I think, Melody, we can start the conversation with a young person. You can see and maybe tell us if you have any experience of intergenerational living.
Hi, my name is Thetha, and my experience in terms of intergenerational... Orange Farm. Alright. Well, Sing rona as batho mara as the generation.
Yes.
Ke bo koko, ke bo malome le bana. And in terms of that, ke bona hore we clash, wa bona.
Okay.
Kobane everyone wants to be heard and everyone wants to do things their own way. Mara because of that, bo koko na banana the old way is the best way. Bomalume babo khale bona.
Yeah.
And then rona bana, all we want to do is be heard.
Yes.
Voice.
Yes. But the old way, king this old way because na lentate mo and nkaru batlo shake ra hona old way. Old way. What's your experience of the old way? What are some of the things they make you do?
Well, bona boko kwa bona their term of discipline ko shapangwana ngwana mamele ebe a yes and no relationship instead of rona re buisane re dule fatshe go kwana.
Yeah. Melody, do they listen to you at home?
It depends, you know, with the man say bring the bonus, no bonus, because as we tabange Orlando Colletti, I believe that like someone like myself who sat in a family setting where konu koko, konu kunu, konu malume, konu mshana, and it was all different stages. The one thing being Patarabuta, I had to go open the gate. Mara no cars leaving the house. Mara we had to open the gate at 6 o'clock. I never understood that phenomenon. This generational thing, how does it balance? But let's not make it about me. But I'd like to find out from you, what's your name and who do you live with, and have you experienced this intergenerational phenomenon that's come to be?
My name is Brigitta, and I have actually stayed with my mom and my gran.
Okay.
So, and my little sister, we were only females in the house. So
yeah,
sure.
There was good days and there was bad days. But in this case where, you know, your mom, while my mom has to be a father figure and a mom figure as well. So my mom and my grandmother, they're very close. So in that case, when my mom needs to discipline me, my grandmother has something to say as well. So,
so it's like a 2-on-1.
Yeah, 2-on-1, like they take you at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but in that case, I actually learned a lot, and I spent a lot of time with my grandmom. She taught me a lot of stuff, and yeah, there was good times and there was bad times.
Tell me this. I mean, when we look about lifestyle, you're a young girl, we live in a new age, we dress differently. do you feel that living with your grandmother, for example, has probably had a positive influence in how you dress? Because I mean, I'm sure if your grandmother is your leader in terms of how to dress, it's more like old-fashioned according to the new youth, you know, who are so-called woke. Would you feel that it's been a benefit, or maybe you feel like your grandmother doesn't get it's the new fashion?
Well, for me, I think my grandmother, she has a style of fashion, but then the way I dress, it's more religious basis, because I believe that woman is supposed to dress in a modest way. So it's nothing to say that I'm following an old style. It's basically a personal thing and how I see life. But in that case where I spend time with my grandmother,
Sure.
try to see things in the eyes that she sees things like life, and while also experience it in my own way. That's how I got to actually be like this. And
Okay.
Melody, we've got a very special moment here. The grandmother is here.
Yeah.
So maybe perhaps let's hear from Gran. What does she do that Gran kind of looks at and goes,
Yes, my name is Teresa Jacobs, and the person who spoke now was my eldest granddaughter. As she said that with Mom and me, we are very fashion conscious in our home.
Come on.
Okay.
And with Brigitte, we sent her to a school, a Christian school, where she was taught something else. And we were never against it, because she grew up with it, and it made Brigitte a better person in the sense that she was schooling. They taught her how to be a lady, and a lady shouldn't dress up like shorts and tops. And that is the way I feel she were taught up in the right way.
But Gogo Teresa, can I just come in there for 2 seconds? Living in a house where it's you and your daughter, and she now has her own daughters, do you sometimes interfere with how she raises her children?
Of course. Gogo must say something.
Wait, so before you continue, I'm certainly sure that one already is gonna get a lot of people to express how they truly feel. But also for me, the key part then becomes, and what I want to find out when you come back from the ad break, is more on the lining of the finances. And I mean, because I mean that plays a big part in who contributes to raising this child. You know, to pay for school fees, to pay for all the little things. Because some people are paying for their sister's daughter's child, which end up becoming that does it not weigh on you, especially as a grandmother, because I'm sure that everything ends up in your ears. But we'll get into that when we come back. Let's quickly take an ad break. Best buya siyaqhubeka le ndaba nawe futhi ukwazi ukuthi ufakaze ukuthi ufuna ukuthini.
Today we are talking intergenerational gap. Sifuna ukuva, because you find that in South Africa, a lot of families are not your conventional family. There's a lot of people within the family, there's a lot of members sharing spaces, and the younger ones, bathini bona ngokuba abantu abadala bafuna kwenziwe izinto ngendlela yabo. And if they're really fighting, how do we resolve this, and how do we move to a space where everyone understands one another? Masibaba bathini. So nokuthola ukuthi mama endlini abantu bahlala generations zintathu, mhlawumbe ngumakhulu, ngumntana nomzukulwane. So kunokungavisisana mhlawumbe endlini ngamanye amaxesha. Zintoni izinto ezibangayo endlini ezenza uba ningavani?
Sibanga into eyiningi mntanami, ukuklina, bafuna ukuklina, ukugeza izitsha abafuni ukuvuka nasekuseni, fanele ubavuse ngenkani. Yizo izinto esixabanela zona lezo.
Abazukulwane ke bona ke hayi indawo ufuna bawashiya izitsha, abafuyi kade ukudla bafuna uwasha izitsha, nabo abafuna ukwenza nix nje.
Angihleli nabazali bami bani mama kodwa xa sekulixesha kuba lo sapho phango December kuxa kuzolide dibana abantu abahlala endaweni ezahlukileyo abanonimamela because banezankolo zagaza kuba xa kuthetha abantu abadala umntana kufuneka ahlombe naye.
Zintoni izinto ofuna abantu abadala bazazi as umuntu osemtsha, because banokuthi hayi inhloko zenu ziyachisa nithetha kakhulu, yintoni wena oyicingayo engase bangayazi before bathethe nawe as umuntu osemncinci?
ukuthi bezwe qala i-side lami ukuthi mina ngizizwa kanjani, and then if ever nami ngiba wrong uzongi-explainela ukuthi ngendlela leyo uzizwa ngayo akumelanga uze-expresseka so kumele ukuthi wenze kanje, then that way ngizo-understand ukuthi okay sometimes ama-feelings mengebe ngi-frustrated ngingaveli ngibhamuke nje kuphela ngikhona ukukhuluma nabantu kahle.
Cebisa abantu abadala bazimamela izimvo zabantwana because nabo banelungelo nokuba bavakalise indlela abaziva ngayo.
Mina ufana mangikhuluma nje naye because dala ngikhuluma naye angafuni ukungilalela, so I've decided ukuthi ngimdisown. I just look at him angifuni ukukhuluma next naye, uyabona.
Mawubuka kwesinye isikhathi nako ukuthola ukuthi ubona ngathi usuyazibona nawe la ngaphakathi kwingane yakho ukuthi no nami ndanikaje ndinjeni semncinci, wena ubona kanjani?
Yeah, ngiyazibona ukuthi nami benginjalo ngisesemncane, benginenkani ngingafuni ukumamela, bengithethisa njalo kodwa kujike kuphele ngoba nengimthethisa uyakwata kujike kube buhlungu kimi futhi noma ebuye ebusuku ngiyamthethisa kujike kube buhlungu kimi futhi ngimkhuze ngithi angahambi ebusuku angabuye ebusuku.
Eyona nto ibalulekileyo apha is communication. What we gathered is that everyone just wants to be listened to and to be heard. So next time, before wenze any rash decisions, just remember to listen with the intention to respond, not with the intention to respond, but to actually understand. And futhi ayikho into egqitha ikhaya.
But Bamudimo, while I need to have an understanding. But also, one day I hope somebody can explain to me why older people want us to wake up at 5 in the morning.
Nicolette,
what is happening at 5 in the morning, guys?
You know the worst thing. There's this saying in Zulu, but hey, vuga wena, ilanga selisephumile limenga inyawo. I mean, like, why? But nonetheless.
Nonetheless, we do have our guests that are joining us on the couch. We have Kagiso Kaba and Prudence Dube. And I know, Prudence, you are saying there's nothing wrong with intergenerational living. Homonati, we are learning lessons from each other. No? Yes?
The thing is, it's only me and my mother. So, like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not having any problems, really. Because, yeah, my mother always explains everything to me. She always tells me, you know, when if maybe we have financial problems, she tells me, my daughter, this is this and that, you know. You can't just tell me you want this and I don't have money for that. So I have to understand, you know, and stuff like that. I do wash the dishes.
You do?
I think.
So you're a different type of youth.
No, but as Nakona, it makes me wonder, Uguti,
I stay at Florida.
In Florida, okay. So if you tell me this, when do you feel that as Mtana Wasekasi, I was growing up in a township, do you feel Uguti there's also peer pressure Uguti to not do these things in Lin? And I mean probably in Venek, where's Uguti?
Peer pressure to do things like what now?
So like, for example, peer pressure for you to be rebelliant at home, for waking up in the morning, washing the dishes, because you feel like, hey, now your granny is too strict, your granny likes talking.
No, not really.
but she says something very, very different, and I think maybe it's something that Kagiso can also speak to. Her mom speaks to her.
Sure.
You know? Generally what you find is that sometimes because their rule, their law is the law, and it is what it is. Maybe perhaps you can tell us what your situation is.
Yeah, it's something that can never be explained. Kidula kontlungri 80. It's me and my dad are provider. Unale bo malome kuku ko garage. Udula yes. And it's difficult.
Wait.
No. Because of kinna provider.
So that's an additional 2.
Yeah.
So that's 10.
Yes.
Okay, so carry on explaining.
Wait, so that's 11.
Melody with the math.
Okay, sorry.
I can't say Soweto and then the big room. So kontlung 8. And bear in mind Rejaka fela kontlung. Musapiwa ka fela kontlung, yes. Sometimes Papa Lena pela habat. And once Babona TV, Babona and it's difficult for me to say, guys, I kinayona, but like I'm not even a celeb.
Okay, what do you do?
I do a lot of things. I'm a radio DJ. An extra for some soapies. A TV presenter for some shows. Now I'll be a journalist for some ANC youth league organization.
Wait, let's just hold the money, the financial aspect of it just for 2 seconds and talk a little bit about what does your everyday look like? If you can explain to me, because I'm just wondering now, I live with my younger sister and already meja kiza fela, you know? So really 80, what is your, paint us a picture of your everyday.
I have to wake up before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And waking up at 4, batlo mbolela gore kagiso tshwantse o clean o ka se tswe mo ntlong sa clean.
Go cleana wena?
Yes.
Okay.
How tolo ke mantene go tse ko ntlong o mtse ba mtswadi. Ke mewa how tšhelete tla kone. So I've got no say. It's so difficult to a point where ke batla ho tswa because of hape ba o kalla nako ya go gutla.
Yeah.
O ba bolele gore show ya ka e fela ka bo 8 or 9 ba go ngwana ngwanyana.
You're still a child in the house.
But Nicolette, let me bring it back now. This is the fight that we're having with intergenerational, is that if she is the provider who goes to work, ayosebenza, abuye futhi clean, laba bahleli benzani? Because my problem becomes that I believe Guti as a black child, bo koki rent or utengi kroza, ubane voice nyana, iplate lako iba extra, alfana la babani.
But Melody, let's have an honest conversation. We're not raised like that. Money doesn't change your status in a family. And perhaps maybe we can talk to the gentleman that's on the other side, because we had a conversation earlier on, and you said in your house, it's your rules. Whether your son or daughter has a salary or not, please can you take us through that?
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Danjua. Yeah, I'm a father of 3 daughters and a grandfather of 3. 2 boy child and 1 girl child. And yes, raising my daughters, as I've listened now, was quite difficult.
Okay.
Because from where I come, I'm from Cape Town, and seeing what happened on the outside, I was literally what would be called today overprotective.
Yeah.
Because they is very, very, very strict.
Yeah.
Yes. They must not do this. They must not dress like that. They must not do that. They must not walk there. They must not go alone there. Whatever they do, I want to know where you're going to, who you're going with.
Are you still that strict with your grandchildren, though?
Funny enough. No. No. I'm still the same.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's very, very interesting.
And also, I think what I love the most about you said is that it gives you so much growth and room to reflect. Now ke mbukele ekhaya ungakhohlwa unethuba ukuthi nawe nje ufake umcabango yakho uthi nje kancane ukusibonisa ukuthi wena ubona kuyinto enjani #DailyThetha. Kodwa let's go to the break. Besibuya siqhubeka le nkulumo.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. And intergenerational living and understanding now what are some of the needs of somebody, especially more so odulang in that type of a situation. What are their needs? What is the impact? And what's the actual influence? And actually just looking at it, but we do have a professor that is going to come later on in the show to talk about the successes of people that live in those situations, or whether or not it has an impact. You know, because that's really, really important for us to get a better understanding. But we are joined on the couch by Anne Lichman, Anne, you are absolutely fantastic. You've had an absolutely amazing career, but you also come from a situation of intergenerational living, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And then we also have Nobo Nakala Maswanganyi, who is Prudence Dube's mother. She was in our earlier segment, and she was explaining that you guys have a beautiful relationship, Mama. We are explaining izinto, we are understand, aguna friction, aguna conflict endlini yakho. Is that so, Mama?
Yes.
That
however.
is so. However. Okay, ngikhalungibambele yona ku however ne.
Sikaliwa ke. Yes. So I just like social media sibone ukuthi uThepoda uthini ke yena uthi it's a disadvantage because you won't be living at the same level as your peers. Sure, that means, I don't know, like text, I'm just saying. But family is family. I love them, and I wouldn't think twice about taking care of my parents. They did the same for me. And of course, it's a very important thing to realize, Uguti. There's a sentimental element to this thing, Uguti. We look after our family ngoba siyabathanda. Abantu sibanakekela kodwa kunalaba kuza ngabaya kumunyikazi. You feel like they're just draining your energy, they're draining your progressiveness. And I think maybe you guys will be able to usniga an idea, Uguti, how do you go through it and how do you feel about it?
And my parents, maybe we can start with you, Anne, and just paint us a little picture of how it was for you growing up.
It was very hard, Nicolette, to be honest. I'm the oddball, the proverbial oddball in the family. Because my mom and my dad is from the Victorian age.
Yes.
And my mom literally could have been my great-grandma or my grandma in terms of the age gap.
Oh, wow.
How
big is that age group, if I may ask?
Sure. My mom passed when she was 94, and I think I was just 42 or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
so
huge.
it's a very huge gap. So everything about me, my entire life, was a mind battle in terms of our household, the ecosystem in which the voice that I could not even have. And I'm the Joseph also, I'm the 12th in the family of 13. And as the Joseph in the family, I'm the only graduate, and the burden fell on me. Not only in terms of my parents' old age care, but the financial burden in terms of my nieces, my nephews, and not only as a professional, as a child, I had to let go. In our communities, Christmas clothes are very important.
Yes.
And I have learned from the age of 9 to say, no, Dad, don't worry about me. Make sure my sisters have. Because they handled it differently, much as they are older than me. I was the one with a little wisdom who was my dad's shadow, handled the finances from the age of 9 in the family, were referred to by my siblings as the Minister of Finance, his wife, you know, so it was hectic.
So there was always an expectation for you to stand back.
There was an expectation for me to stand back, but to deliver
at the same
as
time.
the more responsible party.
Yeah.
So I was held accountable for a lot of things, and a lot of my older siblings, I met them only in my 20s. Like just recently in December, they were bit mistreating my brother about the family home. And I said, you guys must understand, you are strangers to this child. He's from a different age. He's 4 years younger than me. He's from a different age. You cannot treat him like that. When you want to come and use the family home over Christmas, the decent thing is to make arrangements a month ahead.
I'm looking at Kagiso, and Kagiso seems to mirror your situation and just a little bit. Kagiso, are you seeing a reflection of yourself?
Yes. How to from that family, I always tell people, you need to learn to sacrifice, and you're sacrificing yourself.
Yes.
Because certain things, how do you tell? To benefit about babang, ka happiness ya how, and it hurts. Ore oyako skolongo, osina nix, ore kitla yetsa that oats hore ba khona hore ba care ba babang. Because once motswadi a how a o yetsetsa only one, ho qala dintwa kontung. Wa lwaniwa, it comes a fight eloreng wa rwakiwa, ho ngwana ha o itjotsa o betere. So now you start being unhappy at a very young age, you start being bitter at a very young age. Growing up and our parents do not understand sometimes the anger that we have, or it's caused by the situation at home. Hence we try and get happiness outside home.
Tell me something, what's probably the biggest sacrifice I have to carry this burden? Has there ever been?
Yes, it has, and I'll just say it out because my book will be out. At home we were struggling. I had to date a guy who was a transport driver in order for him to take me to school. I did not care about having food. I did not care about having transport money. And thank God I got extensions with my matric.
Was he an older guy?
He was 6 years older than me. I fell pregnant. And I thought it's gonna be easy. He left me and I'm a single parent. It's still more difficult because now I can't take care of myself and my daughter. But because there are siblings and other people in the family that I need to take care of, I feel as if now this chain is going on and I believe I'm the one that's supposed to break it.
I was no manakalo, mama mele usisi ukagiso athetha. Situation yakhe. How important is it for wena to make sure that the situation yaka Prudence doesn't look like this?
Oh, mina mangimamele usisikagiso ethetha. Ngibheke ukuthi kufanele ukuthi kube nabantu or ama-family members bahlale phansi babonisane ngesimo sakhe ukuthi if uyasiza kufanele asize up to where. And the other thing is ngifuna ukusho kukagiso ukuthi angakhathali ukwenza kahle because I believe ukuthi whatever ayenzayo whatever like umdala le yona kufanele ukuthi angazibhekena ayi-1 so whatever ayenzayo makangadinwa ukwenza asize nabanye abantu because like makasiza like akasizi abheke ifamily yakhe yodwa ngithi angasiza even ama-strangers but makube ukuthi bamhlalisa phansi bamboni like ihlale phansi ifamily ukuthi mabangamstraini bathathe like everything anayo njengemenshilile ukuthi like kufuneka aqale like physically akline ngapha kanti babheke ukuthi uye factors than endlini. I think again it's unfair for her. It's too much. She's being too much for her. Yes.
So just to get us I want to bring it back to you, and I mean, of course, your children were people who've also had to experience what you've gone through, but probably at a different nature because now you kind of had influence on the stage you're in. So briefly, what can you share in terms of your experience for that?
Well, my children. My children had to make a lot of sacrifices. For me, the sacrifice wasn't as much painful on the financial side because as a corporate accountant, I earned really well. And I've been working since a very young age doing my little spaza shop thingy, you know, so I know how to handle finances. But my kids, they had to sacrifice so much on the financial side, even later on when they wanted to pursue their careers, because of that history that I was carrying. And it extended right into my relationship in marriage because the thing, this thing, and you can bear with me, it's like a stigma that clings to you. And somehow you yourself, you find yourself sacrificing unintentionally and intentionally at times. So you lose a lot. But the thing that was very, very painful for me is the loneliness, and it carries over in the workplace, in the church society, because you kind of, you're locked up because automatically people like us, people see us as leaders, they respect us, they love us for what we can do for them. But the derogatory terms and thinking that accompanies it parallel, like in my name I could be anything, my family could be anything from the advocate when I had to solve a family conflict. The Minister of Finance if money had to be handled, you know, like derogatory terms that you carry with you. And you kind of, to protect yourself, like she says, you either go and find love outside. Or you lock up. Me, I'm the opposite, I lock up.
Let's quickly read some social media, and it says there from Tabang Manganyi, it's our culture to live like that. We should never ever question that. Where do we think our grandparents should stay? Let's not even think of changing ourselves for Western ways. That is quite a very, very bold statement, but I'm sure there are some positives when it comes to intergenerational living. I can just imagine a person like Anne, corporate accountant, very busy. If the grandmother is there, they can then take care of the children. But that's what we're going to be dissecting a little bit more later on in the show to get an understanding of where does intergenerational living actually come from. So do stay tuned on the show.
Sanamukela-ke back right here ku-Daily Thetha on SABC 1. La sikhuluma khona ngayo yonke into esebenza abantu abasha, phinde futhi nayo yonke into ekhuthaza abantu abasha. Namhlanje, of course, in studio we are joined by our two guest social worker, which is Usisi Nkosi, but also alongside we've got Professor Monde Makiwane, who also is joining us in the studio. Singiqalela ku social media sizwe ukuthi abantu nina nithini emakhaya. Liberty Dube uthi ke yena, the African way of life promotes ubuntu. I am because you are. Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. The question is being posed to people in an Afrocentric setting from a Eurocentric viewpoint. As Africans, we believe in community rather than individualism. Thinking about self at the expense of family is the worst place we can find ourselves as Africans. I believe, Uguti, that's a very profound statement. Ikhuluma kakhulu ngobuntu. You know, we in our communities. Angazi mhlambe nina ngingathanda nje uku-add lapho.
Professor?
Well, the tenant, I just want to show how wealth was shared between generations in different societies.
Yes.
Okay. Western society, a child gets support from parents when the child is young. But once that child reaches adult stage, he is expected to be away from the family and to be independent. That is enabled by two things. The first thing is that that child has got enough skills to live an independent life. And the parents have saved enough money not to be dependent on the child.
And this is generally a nuclear setting, right?
Yeah. And in a nuclear setting, the parent had a small family.
Yes.
Parents had a small family, and they were able to skill the child while themselves saving enough to be independent. Then the interaction between the two generations is usually symbolic in nature. Like if there's a birthday, they give gifts, Christmas, and so on. Not really sharing of money. In African societies, generations are expected to share wealth right through their lifetime.
Okay.
But then that wealth is held, there's commonwealth between generations, which means that both generations are supporting to create that wealth, and that wealth is available to all generations.
Yes.
Yeah. But what is happening in today's societies is that children who are very successful, they leave parental family and become independent. Those who are less successful, they remain a burden to aging parents. Sometimes when parents are demanding money from successful children, they're not demanding money for themselves. They are demanding money
for the siblings,
for the siblings that are not successful.
Sure.
So,
is it fair?
That, well, it's difficult to say, because some of those children who are not successful, it's not their fault. It's because maybe the parent could only skill only one child successfully, and perhaps one child, because they think that it's very intelligent, they send it to a private school. The other one is sent it to a bad school and cannot make it. So there are many situations.
If I can just jump in there, and I want to bring in Suspusi, was that do you believe that these things also influence the conflict endlini? You know, sometimes because wena njengomntana osebenzayo ubhuti wakho uyakuzonda because bakuthanda endlini. Every time kune meeting uyabizwa wena, lo munye akabizwa because he financially akanaleyo contribution. How do you see it in the social setting endlini?
Okay, what I can say in this aspect is that there are many factors at play in this whole setting, intergenerational families. There are a lot of factors. It depends on how this thing comes. In certain circumstances, like the professor has actually indicated, in certain settings where people are communal, it is expected in a way that kids as they grow, then they would extend themselves and build their homes in the homestead. But in other circumstances, you find that the family was well off, a nuclear family was well off, but because of other factors like unemployment, maybe losing something, factors of divorce, separation and others, then they lead, that very nuclear family, whoever that is left maybe with the kids and go and stay with the parents. And other factors that have already been alluded to. So in all the circumstances, what needs to happen is that communication is key, in a number of aspects.
Sispusi, before you get into the solutions, because I can hear you're moving in that direction, I just want us to recontextualize the situation.
Yes.
Now, it's common, and is it this intergenerational living, and also where you are working, what are you seeing? What are some of the trends that you are seeing, and what impact do those trends have?
Okay, yes, it is very common in our communities, intergenerational living.
Yes, across cultures, across races?
I would say so, but mostly in African communities, because that is where I'm based at, but it is very common. It is very common, and like I had indicated that it is a number of factors that lead to this. People who've been working and all that. But one of the things that has got to, like I spoke of the issues of communication, that at times it is because people do not communicate. The person that was here earlier spoke of the burden that is on her, you know, the expectations and all that. So at times when people come to us as social workers, it comes in the form of a problem. Maybe a person presents with depression, a person presents with stress, a person is not coping, and other factors. At times it goes even to the extent of people not being able to live together. You know, you find that one believes that they are the ones that are supposed to be staying at a particular place at the expense of others. So communication should be at play here. That is where we come in to say we bring people together, because at times when they are communicating at home, they are fighting and they are talking over each other, not actually, you know, talking to the facts as to what actually brings the problem. What is it actually that makes the whole setting to be a problem, and yet they need each other.
Professor Karata Taba, she's talking about communicating. But now we know that communicating is not always a norm in most families, right? And also because and I think it goes back to what has been said and what you have said, you were the lucky one who was able to be taken to school. Now they're saying, so nyaka communication when. Yet you know your role as an elder child or whatever. How do we facilitate that it doesn't get to a point where we're now in crisis and we're asking for communication?
Well, I want to comment before speaking about communication. I want to comment about this so-called successful children. But in many cases in African settings, you find that these children might be successful, quote-unquote successful, but after some time they get into a financial mess. They run back to families. And if, for instance, they are in difficulties during holidays, they'll take their children home as a way of relieving themselves from the day's financial problems that they are experiencing. So it's not only the divide between successful and unsuccessful, even these successful ones you find that do need families. And the first generation middle class is having it very hard. It cannot plan very carefully, and many times their success is only temporal. And we must understand that. Coming to communication, there's what is called intergenerational intelligence. Intergenerational intelligence is to understand that you are a member of a particular generation. You only see things through your generation. And you learn to appreciate the good and the bad out of another generation. It's not everything of another generation is bad. There are many good, and not everything of another generation is good. They are also bad. So if you understand that your own knowledge and your own so-called intelligence is only within the prism of your own generation, we are able to appreciate the good from other generations.
Maybe let's hear from a young person. Does she agree that there is some good from the older generation?
Hi, I'm Tebucho. Yes, I do agree. And I do believe that communication goes a long way, because only when we can communicate, the older generation can communicate with the younger generation, we can all understand each other, discuss all our problems, discuss all our finances and expenses, then weigh income towards against our expenses. Then that's only a family can grow together, not apart.
Nalo taba saltikita manje hleli phezulu prof ukhulumile social worker usisibusi nawo lokho yalibeka iqhuzu lakhe wena uthini uhlele ekhaya silinde wena thumela it's very simple #dailythetha ubeke nawe iphuzu lakho besibuya siqhubeke nale ndaba. Welcome back to It Is, of course, SABC Daily Thetha. La ku-SABC 1 sikhuluma khona ngezinto ezibalulekile. And namhlanje njengoba sesivala le ndaba sesondele ekugcineni, ngifuna ukubuyela mina ngizwe ukuthi nina ku-social media nithini ko-Twitter. Na umlayezo ongenayo-ke ubuya kupalisa Ntabeleng Mofao uthi-ke yena, it is in a disadvantage as I can't enjoy my money, nor can I buy a car without thinking about what my family has to eat and dress. But I think it's better eating with my family than enjoying my money while they sleep on a hungry stomach. Nicolette.
Ay, ya fisa ge taba Melody wa ibona le wena gore hey re kene tabeng, but I think we'll come back to the social media. I just want Professor Ublabile something a very big man tsa magolo. A re go nna le what is called intergenerational intelligence. And I think Sispusi, with that intelligence there's also intolerance, because wa tseba gore batho ba golo man sometimes abanya go rekwa as baswa man gore they just feel like what you guys are saying you don't know. How do we navigate that system?
What I'd say on that aspect is that there is an element that people have got to learn. You know, with every relationship that one is in, you actually learn people, you learn people's behaviors and all that. So there is an element that you have to bring in. Because at times, if we are bashing out and lashing out at people all the time, there is a way you can win at times go to most of the time. But if we do positive things also for them, they know that there is positive also that comes from young people. Because one of the aspects that we shouldn't forget is that much as there's all the aspects that have been mentioned, but these people, not only in families, we are interdependent as generations. One of the aspects that we need to remember is that there is a legacy that each generation leaves for the other. So at times, maybe it is because there is something that they want from these kids, that you are carrying my name. It is a legacy. If a child behaves, then I'm proud. If a child misbehaves, then utlesa shame into the family. So these are some of the aspects. And you know, like I have said, we need to try to win each other, and also the way we live, go family, repeal in harmony. At times we should remember that have been through a lot. And then and at times they get tired. They are less appreciated because of all the things that they have done. So we need to show love, respect.
#heal. They need to heal, right? It's very, very important. But speaking about that, and I've learned a new trick with my father. I hear him out. And I think sometimes just being able to say to him, I've heard you, really makes it a little better for him. I don't have to follow what he says, but telling him I have heard him. What are some of the tricks that you, as Baswa, just so that we can start bridging that gap to win them over?
Okay. One of the things I can mention is the very thing of showing an elderly person respect, even if the issues also dumelang letsona. But at times respect and you know, doing things with them. It's not only the issues of burden what is in it for me in a relationship. That is not what a relationship is about. We need to do and you know, do things together and help each other in a number of ways. Like I had said, we need each other. I can make an example whereby an elderly person can look after bana baba nyane, and there are things that they can learn from the very kids. Technology but enjoy and all this. Yes, and even the one only parent or sandwiched. That person can be used to actually bridge the gap between the problems that are, you know, are being caused or are being seen between the two generations, meaning the grandparents and the children. So there is a lot that this one who is sandwiched can, you know, a role that they can play.
Melody ki almost walla palesa ora ke khono reka koloi batho modimo. Tsonze ke sepeleka di taxi, but it's better gore ke jele family yaka than gore ke sepeleka koloi. Ba so ba reng?
Thingishintshele indaba kancane ukuyicabanga ukuthi sometimes usisikhathi nawe ufuna ukuzinakekela nawe ufuna ukuthi nawe uthengele isicathulo osithandayo unyathele emoyeni. But at what point thina njengabantu abasha sikwazi ukuthi decide ukuthi sekuyisikhathi sokuthi ngikhule, because in order for you to grow, these decisions of, for example, living away from home are good for you. But at what point do we as a black community or as a country teach each other to say it's not a number of what age, it's what stage of mental ability. Kodwa ke sisiza ukuthi ke ababukeli endlini bebacabanga kodwa nawe ke as our audience wena ucabanga nsiswami ukuthi
my name is Carmen. And I agree with what Palisa is saying. Like, you always have to put your family first. You can't let them go to bed hungry knowing that you are buying materialistic things. Like, they have to survive on something. They depend on you. And it would actually feel good to you also to do something for your family.
But if it doesn't stop, That's the question, because you know they'll call you Sunday, hey, short is single. They'll call you Monday, hey, short and it becomes it's more take. At what points do you, as a Muntu Musha, are able to find a voice inside of you to say, Ma, I can't?
I honestly think it is difficult, especially to say no to your mother. Like your mother raised you, she gave you love. So now you have to say no to her. But then at some point you have to go like, Mama, I am really trying. It's difficult for me too. Sometimes you have to talk to your mother and say, Mama, I also would like to have this. Can you please at least meet me halfway?
Sure. So when njengomuntu nawe njengomuntu omusha usesikhathini uyintombi uyakhula izinto ziyenzeka phela nawe ufuna uqala impilo yakho, at what point now do you find uqala impilo yakho without detaching from your family?
Actually, I'll just ngizozama ukuphuma kancane in this. Not everyone have a family.
Sure.
Not everyone have a parent. There's this thing, I mean, I'm from a family whereby when my mother passed on, I had nobody, but everyone turned their bags on us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I had to leave KZN and come to Joburg. And by that time I had to hustle. No one cared. By that time I was 18 years. And I could have done prostitute, I could have done anything. Nobody take a call to call me. But today, Toby, she's this a successful business person. Everyone, they want to find themselves next to me. And the sad part is that when my mother and my sister passed on, some of the family members, the people that you call Bomalume, they took the stuff. They didn't even come.
Thing is before ukhala ngoba ngiyayizwa lento deep. Sisibusi ngicela ukuthi wena usivaleleke mhlambe ukuthi ungasho kanjani imizwa nayo iphezulu. Ungathi uadvice oyinikayo ngaba yini sisivala.
Okay, the advice that I can give, like I had mentioned, part of the things that we need to be conscious of, it's the services that are out there, because some of the problems are within the family and we cannot deal with everything. Services like ours, you consult social workers, psychologists, and because that is where we assist people to deal with issues. One of the things is a person has got to know their limitations. There is a time that you need to do things for your family, but you've got to know your limitations. That is where the...
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show, but it's been an exhilarating one. There's so many lessons. Understand that. But at the end of the day, when as more so but obviously thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, Conversation Net carries on all our social media platforms. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode.
Yes.